guys, Mike G here, and I'm here with Zastyr Ralnor.
Sadly. He could do so many better things.
Fine.
Nope, lies.
Yes.
Hey, am I getting paid for this?
So,
No! You don't deserve payment!
so we're here to do, each of us, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8? Is there 8 of us? I believe.
She's not included.
Okay. So there's seven of us here, and we are going to do our top 5 games of all time. Yes, each of us will be going by one, saying what our number 5 is, what our number 4 is, and etc., etc. So, yeah, so I think who we're going to start with first is...
Let's start with the tall, creepy pedophile.
Yes, the pedophile. That's who we're going to start with.
Come on, pedo.
Let's begin.
My 5 is Pac-Man, cause he's nom a gun.
Which Batman? Genius.
Pac-Man.
Batman.
Oh, I thought you said Batman.
No, Pac-Man, cause he goes gobble 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 gobble, boop, or ghost gobble.
Alright, my number 5 is Diddy Kong Racing because at the end, the final boss is Whizpig, and he is hard as shit to beat. That's why it's such an epic game, because once you beat it, you actually feel good about yourself.
Number 5, Mortal Kombat franchise. All of it.
Alright, so my number 5 is God of War. Just because, you know, it's a fun game, but not really my style. Still good though.
Alright, boy. My top 5 would be Skyrim for my 5th one. Reason being that I actually grew up with the Elder Scrolls series. It's amazing. I get to kill stuff. I get to kill pedophiles. I get to kill little children. Chickens. A lot of chickens. And cows. Not to mention there's a lot of little fun Easter eggs like the notch pickaxe. I'm on top of that. Throw of the world. So, that's my top 5. Well, number 5. Yeah!
Okay, so my number 5 is The Incredible Hulk Ultimate Destruction. I remember being a kid playing this game because I never seen such a free-roaming game like this with the destruction. You got to feel the force of the Hulk itself, you know, the rage and power, your rage attacks. It wasn't really the story in the game, but it was more of the freedom that you had being the Hulk, and also him being my number 1 superhero.
Hello again. My number 4 is the original Sonic the Hedgehog for Genesis Sega. It's awesome. Collecting rings, jumping and killing Eggman. So much fun. Saving little bunnies. So much fun to save little bunnies.
Alright, my number 4 on my top 5 video game list is the Sega Genesis version of the Mortal Kombat. Because the other console's version of Mortal Kombat did not have blood mode, but with Sega Genesis you were able to enable blood mode, and just the fact that they were able to install that into their game was the shit.
My number 4 would be Dante's Inferno. Why? You get to fuck up Lucifer himself. No explanation needed.
Okay, my number 4 is the Devil May Cry series. I love it, but still, not my kind of game. What can you do? But still, playing as Dante and collecting all the devil arms was really fun, but just didn't have a lot of it was kind of lackluster for me.
My number 4 on my top 5 list would have to be Crisis and Crisis 2. Because this game used to just run on computers. It was never on console till recently, a year ago. The first one was released. About 2 to 3 years ago. The first one was finally released on PlayStation and Xbox 360 stores. Then number 2 is released, and then finally number 3, which I never played, sadly. Main point of actually me liking this game would be the suit powers. Oh my god. Being able to run at 20 miles an hour and punch someone in the face about 5 blocks away is freaking amazing. That's number 4.
Alright, so my number 4 is Enslaved. Yes, Enslaved. This game isn't very well known, but it's one of my favorites because of story, the combat system. Yes, the controls were a little bit strange, and yes, there were times where you got really pissed off, but the game overall was amazing. I love the characters, I love the atmosphere, the colors were amazing, just the graphics were amazing. Enslaved is definitely one of my favorite games of all time.
Hello, my third is Spyro. Yeah.
Alright, my number 3 on my top 5 video game list is actually a tie between two completely unrelated games. And one is a relatively new game that I've been playing on my PS3 for a while now. Is GTA 5, of course, everyone knows about it. And the reason I love GTA 5 is because you can customize like anything you want. Your guns, your cars, you can have what you want, spend what you want, and of course the co-op missions and the free roam capability, and that's why I like GTA 5. And then the tie against it is actually a old PS1 game. It was the first Tony Hawk Pro Skater game, and me and my dad and my brothers, we've spent so much time unlocking all the tapes and the secret characters. Now all we do is cheat codes and cheat like our asses off, but it's still a fun game to play, like getting the highest scores as possible and doing horse and graffiti and all the other game modes. That's why I like that one.
For number 3, I'm going with Spyro Dawn of the Dragon.
Okay, so my number 3 overall, the Pokemon series, because it's just something about it. I like it, but not too much. I think that with X and Y and the new releases of Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, they're kind of taking it a bit too far. But that's just me. Other people love it.
Alright, my number 3 on this list would have to be Dark Cloud series. These games were amazing in my opinion. Get to build your own city, interact with everybody, and pretty much everything. You also have a very unique customization system with your weapons. Be able to upgrade whether you want it to be an ice weapon, a fire weapon, a thunder weapon, even an earth weapon if you want to. They can also increase whether it could do more damage to fish-like enemies or dragons and lizards. And not to mention that all the characters in their own different way are very witty and sometimes very surprising. Like out in the first game, there's a cat that turns into a girl with a freaking slingshot. Lost that word for that.
My third favorite game of all time definitely has to be Darksiders, both 1 and 2. I love these games. I actually played the second one first, and thank God it was a prequel to the first one. It's just amazing. The story, the tale about the 4 horsemen, the boss fights are amazing, the combat's amazing, just the RPG system's amazing. I love Darksiders for everything. There is nothing I hate about Darksiders.
My second one is Star Wars Battlefront 1 and 2. Yeah.
My number 2 on my top 5 video game list is gonna have to be the God of War franchise. I've loved all of them. I own every single one of them. And I can even play mine anywhere I want now because I did get the Ghost of Sparta version on my PSP, and that was awesome as shit to be able to play it wherever I want.
Number 2 has got to be Fable. Not number 2 or 3, the original Fable. Why? You can do anything you want. Literally. Especially with mods.
Okay, my number 2 is a game I actually really like, Watch Dogs. This game is amazing. I love this. It's an always online game, so you're always against other players. If someone hacks into you, kill them. You hack into someone, they try to kill you.
You try to steal their money?
Basically, it's just everyone
It's all around free for all.
Yeah, battle royale, survival of the fittest.
And of course you get the hack shit with your cell phone.
Yes. Fucking bring up pylons.
Number 2 on my list would have to be the God of War franchise. This franchise is well known for its amazing storytelling, its combat system, and its really epically long and large boss fights. These boss fights, literally, just the very first one, and 3, literally took me 45 minutes to an hour. And yes, it's counted as a boss fight.
Alright, so my number 2 is the first Ultimate Alliance. Yes, Ultimate Alliance. When I was a kid, I always wanted a video game where you could play as the biggest majority of the Marvel Universe. And when this came out, it gave me that. The combat system's great, the boss fights are great, the story is just one of the best Marvel stories I've ever heard. You get to play as the Hulk, the Thing, just, oh my gosh. Guys, that game is amazing. If you have not played it, Marvel fans, you need to check it out. It's just an amazing game. You get the biggest majority of Marvel enemies and just, man, goddamn, that series is so good.
And we don't...
The Elder Scrolls trilogy, and it's obviously it's so wonderful.
My number 1 video game on my top 5 list is going to have to be the Guitar Hero franchise. And my favorite one out of the franchise is probably Guitar Hero 3, mainly because I get to play as my favorite guitarist, Tom Morello. And I love how you can do unlockables and cheat codes and battle other guitar players such as Slash. But they were all really good games, especially when you got to play as Slash in the third one. So yeah, those all Guitar Heroes were really cool, and me and my buddies, we always had a good time mashing the fucking plastic guitar. That was awesome. It was hilarious.
All right, my number 1 of all time has gotta be. You named it Star Wars. Star Wars Battlefront 1 and 2. Who you get to in the first one, you don't get to be a Jedi, which sucks. But they fixed that in number 2. Plus, what's one word? Lightsabers. Just lightsabers.
What about the free PC game where you...
Okay, my number 1 is probably my overall favorite game, and some people may hate on me for it, but the Skylanders series. This game was awesome in my opinion. All of them.
I'll show you.
They're very fun. They're kind of cartoony at times, but that's just kind of stuff I like at times.
Stop breaking the fourth wall.
Yeah, sorry, I had to flip off the idiots beyond the fourth wall, not you guys. And I just bought the latest Skylanders Trap Team, and I have to say, what the fuck. Playing as villains was not the thing I expected, so, still. But it's a good game overall.
My number 1 has to be the Splinter Cell series, preferably Blacklist and Conviction. Because in that game, Sam Fisher just kicks a lot of ass, more than he did in the other games. And not to mention, those were one of the more easier games in the franchise. It has weapon upgrades, armor and upgrades, it has a co-op mode that's actually worth playing with a bunch of your friends. And Blacklist, they improved on Spy vs. Mercs multiplayer, which is amazing. In Blacklist, you get to do a lot of more fun stuff. I mean, if I wanted, I could jump off a wall and snap someone's neck, and they'd shoot some guy in the face multiple times. That would have to be my top 5 games.
Alright, so my number 1 game of all time is the franchise of God of War. I really don't know which one to choose. If I had to pick my favorite, it would be Ghost of Sparta. And you could actually go to my top 6 list on my channel for that, for my reasons. But God of War is my favorite game because it was a new way of gameplay. It's actually one of the first intense slashing gores, and it was an interesting way to bring Greek mythology in. Kratos is my favorite video game character as well. The boss fights are so intense, and the things they put in there too, like water scenes, usually those aren't fun in games, but God of War made it really fun because you had these interesting sequences during the water battles, and just everything about the freaking God of War series is amazing. The story is like my favorite part. Yeah, that's why it's my number 1 game.